Looking at myself, maybe I'm not as cool as I think I am. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks that I use to manage the sensory aspects of my autistic experience. Having increased sensitivity to stimuli of all kinds can be a core part of a person's autistic profile. But luckily we live in a golden age of stuff where whatever problem you have, there's a product that will help. I don't know if our autistic ancestors also struggled with sensory issues back when they lived in caves, but modern life is certainly noisier, smellier, and itchier than ever before. So here are some solutions that I use that I hope could be of benefit to you as well. Everything is linked in the description box below. They are Amazon affiliate links, which means that should you wish to buy it, I would get a small commission at no extra cost to you. Number 1, spiral hair ties. My scalp is very sensitive and kind of pulling on my hair is one of my stims anyway. When I was younger, we had to have our hair tied back for school and I would get headaches from wearing my hair in a ponytail because I would need it to be tied in a certain way that would then give me a headache by the end of the day. It took me way too long to learn about these things, but they are a game changer. They don't pull, but they keep your hair firmly in place. They're also much easier to take in and out, and they don't leave a kink in your hair when you take them out at the end of the day. Bonus, they are really fun for a little bit of scrunchy, stimmy goodness, and I like to keep them in my pocket or around my wrist for when I need them. Number 2, elastic shoelaces. This is kind of a new revelation for me in my life. I have this strange need to have my foot hugged at the exact right pressure, which means that I never understood those people who just let their shoelaces go and have really loose shoes on. I also had to tie my shoes in a certain way with double knots, and this really takes a long time if you're going in and out of the house, you're taking your shoes on and off. Anyway, I really wish that I discovered these ones sooner. You thread them through the eyelets and then every shoe can be a slip-on. This is also a great tip for any pregnant woman as well. So I'm going to order some in a whole bunch of colors and transform my shoe collection so there's much less swearing and cursing at my shoes on a day-to-day basis. Number 3, non-sticky sunscreen. I used to hate wearing sun cream as a child, and I still do if it's the wrong consistency. And certainly on an everyday basis, I was really reluctant to put it on. But this stuff is so amazing. It says mild airy finish. It's from a brand that I found on Amazon called Etude House. It's a Korean brand. And it goes on, it almost like is a bit of a primer, like it sort of photoshops you a little bit. Anyway, this stuff is SPF 50. It smells super nice and lemony, and it just goes on very matte. It's not sticky at all, which is great. Number 4, menstrual cups. I tried the regular menstrual cup the first time and I found it painful because most of them have a stick that comes down from here and pushes into various parts of you when you sit down. However, you can get them with rings on the end. And this makes them, firstly, a lot more comfortable to have in, and secondly, much easier to get in and particularly out if you are a bit clumsy or just really not particularly dexterous like myself. My favorite brand is MeLuna. They are quite inexpensive. They come in a wide variety of sizes, not just small, medium, and large, but they also have shorter and longer ones. And I think there could be something for almost everybody. I know some people still don't like them, but this was a bit of a game changer. Number 5, noise-cancelling headphones. These are definitely a bit of a stereotype of autism as depicted in the media. But you know, you don't need to spend money on the really super expensive fancy Bose ones to get the job done. I got mine in pink because everything else seems to be pink these days. And I thought they would look more like I'm just trying to be cool and less like I'm desperately trying to block out the sound of 10 screaming toddlers with bells at the little gym. Looking at myself, maybe I'm not as cool as I think I am. I like them though. These ones are from Amazon. They are a brand called TaoTronics and they were about 50-60 pounds or euros. Not sure, can't remember. But I found them really good. You can turn the noise cancelling hiss on or off, and I just actually wear them a lot of the times as ear defenders rather than putting any music on them. But the music quality is good, so I would definitely recommend them, and they do fold up very nicely in a little box. Speaking of everything being just way too loud, don't underestimate the power of basic little foam earplugs. I know not everybody can tolerate these, but they are good if you want to be more subtle. I know this is like really obvious thing, wear earplugs if you want quiet. But the nice thing about these is that they are also squishy, so they're a little like sensory toy on the go that you can fiddle with in your pocket and no one will know. And I do also want to draw your attention to another sort of earplugs, which are musicians' earplugs. Unfortunately, mine have not arrived yet at the time of filming, but these are basically so you can go about your day and you can still hear, but they filter out certain frequencies of noise. So they're designed for musicians who have a lot of sound exposure, but they can still hear the music. So this could be a useful thing if maybe you go to, well, if you go to a concert or if you go to anything which has very amplified sound, or if you're in maybe a crowded pub, like that never happens anymore, but you know, something like that where there's a lot of background noise and you need to filter that out and concentrate on the sound that you do want to hear. If you have tried musician earplugs, please let me know how they are, because I am really looking forward to trying them and seeing if they make a difference, because obviously the foam earplugs muffle a little bit and the noise cancelling headphones are kind of obvious. So they are like maybe a little bit more of a subtle thing to use in certain situations. Now, I don't want you to think that you have to go out and spend money just to provide comfort for yourself. So this one is completely free. We all spend too much time looking at screens, and if you're watching this, you're looking at a screen right now. But most smartphones these days have a setting which is called eye comfort or something else, which basically filters out the blue light emitted from the screens. Autistic people might be particularly sensitive to this blue light because it disrupts melatonin production and therefore has consequences for your quality of sleep. And this is recommended for everyone. I think everyone should just do this regardless of whether you're autistic or not. But if you do have problems sleeping, it might be worth looking into the light settings on your phone or tablet or even on your laptop and play around with that a little bit. I have mine set to come on between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. and then anytime I look at my screen during that time, there's no blue light emitted. Number 9, a silent or adjustable doorbell. Now, we used to have one of those doorbells that was obviously manual somewhere, and it was extremely loud and very jarring. Every single time the doorbell went, it would make me jump. And I lived in this house for 5 years. When we moved house, our new doorbell was right outside my son's bedroom, and it was even worse. So we immediately ripped it off the wall, and I did some research online, and I discovered that there are quite inexpensive doorbells that you can get, that you can adjust the volume and the ringtone and these kind of things on it. So we got one from a brand called TechNet. This is the bit that you plug in, and then there is a bit that you put outside that they push, and it works on Wi-Fi, I think. Might work on its own Wi-Fi or something like that. So this one has like 50 different tones. I have it on a very unobnoxious one, and you can set the volume level. Even the softest volume on this is maybe a little bit louder than I would like, but you can also turn the noise completely off, and it will only there's a blue ring here, and it will flash when the doorbell rings. So you can turn it completely silent and still be notified when the doorbell goes, which I think is great. We got ours from a German website because we wanted the European plug, but I've linked a very similar one down below for my UK viewership. Number 10, non-ticking clocks. Both me and my husband are driven crazy by the sound of ticking clocks. I am vaguely anxious about timekeeping, so I like being able to see what the time is pretty much wherever I am. So it really took a while for me to work out that these things even existed. But then I thought, what about those clocks they have in train stations? You know, just the smooth hand. And I looked online, and of course they exist. Ours is rose gold for when you want to enjoy watching the passage of time and our inevitable descent into old age. Number 11, bonus round. This is kind of an oblique one, but bear with me. My bonus life hack is to drive an electric car. Now, of course, there are environmental issues and there are also cost issues, but purely from a sensory perspective, electric cars are quiet, they are smooth, and they are not stinky. If you can install a charging point at home, you also don't need to go to petrol stations where the fumes are, for me, quite unbearable. So if you can afford it, I would definitely recommend it, or even just take one for a test drive and experience the difference for yourself. Electric cars are really coming down in price. And of course, the Tesla Model 3 is going to be absolutely revolutionary. They are all over the roads here in the Netherlands already. So if you have been eyeing the Tesla Model 3 and are considering it for your next car, I do have a referral code for that. If you use this code to order it, you will get 1,000 free supercharging miles or 1,500 supercharging kilometers, depending on how metric you are. You'll also get a warm fuzzy feeling inside, and I actually don't think I get anything anymore, so I'm just giving you this for free. You're welcome. So that's everything. Have you tried any of these things and did they help? Let me know in the comments down below. But while you're here, why not have a look at these other videos on autism and neurodiversity and brain stuff? Keep clicking on my videos, and I'm sure at some point YouTube will reward me in the afterlife. Thanks for watching, see you next time.